The cargo hold of the Zephyrian slave ship Harvester's Dream reeked of despair and alien disinfectant. Among the dozens of captured beings from across the galaxy, 2 humans huddled together in the far corner of their cramped cage. Mino pressed herself against the cold metal bars, her dark eyes scanning the shadows for any sign of hope, while Denial sat beside her, his jaw clenched in quiet determination. "The next auction is tomorrow," whispered a Keltorian prisoner from the adjacent cage, his forearms wrapped around his trembling form. "I heard the guards talking. They're expecting good prices for the exotic meat." Mino's breath caught in her throat. She had heard the rumors. Humans were considered a delicacy among certain alien species, their flesh supposedly tender and flavorful. The thought made her stomach turn, but it was Denial's hand finding hers that kept her from completely breaking down. "We're not meat," Denial said quietly, but his voice carried through the hold with surprising strength. "We're human, and humans don't give up." The Zephyrian guard, a towering creature with crystalline skin and compound eyes, approached their cage with a neural prod crackling with energy. "Silence protein packages. Save your strength. The buyers prefer their meat fresh and energetic." Mino felt tears streaming down her face, but she looked up at the guard with defiance blazing in her eyes. "Sold for meat. Human. Hold me. Use me. But get me out of here," she begged through her tears, her words a desperate plea that seemed to echo from somewhere deep within her soul. The guard laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Pathetic. Your kind always begs at the end." But Denial was studying the guard intently, noting how it held the neural prod, observing the rhythm of the patrols, cataloging every detail. Humans had survived ice ages, wars, plagues, and the journey to the stars not through superior strength or technology, but through something far more dangerous, their refusal to accept defeat. As night fell aboard the ship, Denial began to work. While Mino kept watch, he used a small piece of metal torn from his clothing to work at the cage's locking mechanism. His fingers, evolved for tool use and precise manipulation, found weaknesses in the alien design that its creators had never considered. "How did you know?" Mino whispered as the lock clicked open with barely a sound. "Human engineering versus alien arrogance," Denial replied with a grim smile. "They built this to contain creatures who accept their fate. They never planned for humans." Moving silently through the ship's corridors, they discovered something that made their blood boil. Records showing that this wasn't just about the slave trade. The Zephyrians had been systematically hunting humans across multiple systems, viewing Earth's children not as sentient beings but as a renewable resource. In the ship's communication center, Denial's knowledge of electronics, learned from years of tinkering in his family's repair shop back on New Geneva, proved invaluable. While Mino stood guard, he interfaced with the alien systems, his human intuition allowing him to navigate their logic in ways they never anticipated. "There," he said, uploading a virus into their networks. Every ship in their fleet just received the coordinates of their secret bases, along with evidence of their crimes, and it's been broadcast on all human communication frequencies. But their escape had been discovered. Alarms wailed throughout the ship as Zephyrian guards converged on their position. Mino grabbed a neural prod from a fallen guard, wielding it with desperate efficiency while Denial continued his work. "Almost finished," he called out, sweat beading on his forehead as he raced to complete the data transfer. "The entire galaxy is going to know what they've been doing to humans." The ship's captain, a massive Zephyrian with scarred crystalline hide, appeared in the doorway. "Impossible. No lower species could breach our security." Denial looked up from the console, his eyes burning with the fire that had driven humanity, from caves to the stars. "Lower species? We put ourselves on top of our world's food chain without claws, fangs, or natural armor. We turned our planet's most hostile environments into homes. We looked at the vast emptiness of space and decided to fill it with our children." Mino stepped forward, tears still on her cheeks but her voice steady now. "You want to know what makes humans dangerous? It's not our strength or our technology. It's that when you push us to our breaking point, we don't break. We become something you never imagined possible." The data transfer completed just as the first human rescue ships dropped out of hyperspace around the slave vessel. The response had been swift and overwhelming. Every human colony within 50 light-years had mobilized the moment Denial's transmission reached them. As rescue teams swarmed the ship, liberating prisoners and arresting the Zephyrian slavers, Mino and Denial stood together in the cargo hold where their nightmare had begun. The other prisoners looked at them with something approaching awe. "How?" asked the Keltorian who had first spoken to them. "How did two humans accomplish what entire civilizations have failed to do?" Denial helped Mino to her feet, both of them battered but unbroken. "Because we're human," he said simply. "And humans don't just survive. We make sure that what tried to destroy us never gets the chance to hurt anyone else." The Zephyrian slave trade was dismantled within a standard galactic year. The species that had once viewed humans as nothing more than exotic meat learned to fear a far more dangerous truth: that humanity's greatest strength had never been their individual capabilities, but their absolute refusal to abandon each other. Mino and Denial returned to their lives, but they carried with them the knowledge that when the universe had tried to reduce them to mere flesh, they had responded by proving that humans were something far more dangerous than any predator. They were hope itself weaponized.